I'm here with Patrick from Ice Nine Kills to talk a little bit about the tour and everything that's been going on with the band. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. So on this tour run, you guys are playing obviously shows with Metallica. You're doing some headlining shows. Do you have to change the microchip when it comes from one to the other?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into these two separate shows. The headliner obviously being a longer set with more songs and much more of the theatrics, I would say. So, having our own stage set up on the headliners makes it a lot easier to pull off a lot of these like kind of fun gags that we do. And then on the Metallica show, because we're playing in the round, it's like a circle stage in the middle of the stadium. It's really hard to pull off some of this stuff because everybody can see everything that's going on at all times. It's kind of hard to kill somebody behind a screen if there's people behind you watching what's happening. So we kind of have to adapt to the different stage with Metallica and kind of pick and choose the right songs to play, not only for that crowd, to get, to kind of bring in some of these fans that probably are some Metallica fans that probably don't know who we are, but also to kind of adapt it to the stage so that we don't kind of give away too many of the behind the scenes stuff.
Speaking of the crowd, how's been that reception from that fan base to you guys?
That was something that we definitely were a little worried about last February when we played the first show with Metallica in Las Vegas. I think that we were all kind of worried that we'd be seen as, maybe wussies. We're up there wearing suits and tuxedos, and we're not like this classic thrash metal band, but it was quite the opposite, actually, surprisingly. Even at that first show that we played in Vegas, that we weren't even announced on the show until it was already sold out, still people in the crowd wearing Ice Nine Kills t-shirts. I think that we've done a good job bringing in our own fans to these shows, and I think the Metallica guys have seen that as well, and they really like having us on these shows because we are bringing out maybe a crowd that maybe hasn't seen Metallica before, and then we're doing our best to try to win over Metallica fans, and I think that we're doing that. It's really awesome to kind of be the drummer in this band, because I get to see all of these kind of like older metalheads watching me drum and kind of just being like amazed at what I'm doing, and it's a cool feeling.
Do you get some judgment looks as well?
Yeah, 100%. There's a whole lot of people that are like, what the fuck are these guys doing with chainsaws on stage? Or like, why are they wearing masks? Or like, why is there a random girl running around why is she getting stabbed? Like all of this stuff. It's very like the dichotomy of people that are like, what the fuck? And people that are like, this is awesome.
There's a little bit of both worlds. The growth of the band and the rise of the band is unquestionable. I mean, you guys have been getting bigger and bigger, playing bigger and bigger shows. Obviously, the Metallica now is just like the climax of that rise. Did you in your wildest dreams ever imagine that it would happen? Perhaps for some will say this quickly, even though for you guys it's not that quickly.
No, I mean, since the release of Silver Scream 1, we've definitely seen that gradual and natural growth, and it's been really awesome to see what other bigger bands are interested in taking us out and helping us out and stuff like that. But getting this opportunity from Metallica is just like, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime. I mean, well, hopefully not once in a lifetime. I mean, hopefully like that continues to be a thing. But to be a band. To be a band full of members that have been working and doing this for, between 10, 15, 20 years, and to have this come about while we're all together and with like this lineup of this band, it's just really fulfilling, I would say, to have this opportunity and to, get to say that we did not only 3 shows with them, one being in my hometown of Buffalo, but then a 2-year world tour with them is just like, it's just amazing to be able to say it.
So is the next step for you guys your very own arena tour?
Well, I think that we still have a few more steps to get up to venues like this size, up into what we were just doing with Falling in Reverse and what we've done with Slipknot. Kind of going through the ranks of amphitheater, arena, stadium. We were playing shows with Metallica in Europe that were 100,000 cap soccer arenas. I don't think we're quite there yet, but man, that would be exciting to get there.
Well, at least as far as Toronto is concerned, you're playing at a bigger venue today than the last time that you played here, which was at the Danforth, sold-out show at that time. The Toronto fans definitely love you guys. When you come to Toronto, is there a different vibe in the audience?
I think that, I think that Canadian shows are kind of the same as like European shows, where they might be a little starved to have, big tours coming through, and especially like American music. Not that American and Canadian music is that much different, but we play New York City 5 times a year. We probably make it to Canada, or Toronto at least, like once. So I think it's definitely people are like asking for it and rabid for it, and like when a Toronto show gets announced, people are way more excited to come see us in this city than they would be, in a city that we get to see once, twice, 3 times a year. Very excited, by the way, to play this show. We love playing Toronto. We love playing Montreal. We love playing, East Coast Canada stuff. I love it.
So let me ask you this: putting in these headlining shows in between the Metallica dates, is this both a business decision and also a way to get to the markets that the Metallica tour is not taking you on?
Yeah. So even starting with the European tour that we just did, basically the next, the tours that we've done already this year into the end of next year, basically all of our touring is going to be centered around getting to Metallica shows. That's the main focus, is how we get to those gigs, and if we can play shows in between, and bring out some cool bands and hit some markets that we maybe haven't hit in a while, and make some money while we're doing it. That's awesome, because I think it would be kind of very unlike a band like us to just fly to a Metallica show and then fly home, fly to a Metallica show, fly home, in between. Because I mean, we've been since coming back from COVID in 2021, we've played over, I think, 160, 170 shows on like 9 or some tours, something like that. Like, we are, I think, especially now, getting known as the band that is going to play and tour and bring our show to as many people as possible. So being able to kind of book tours around these Metallica dates and make it all work, as much of a probably logistical nightmare it is, our team has been taking it and running with it and making it work the best possible way.
You just hit the nail on the head. I think logistically, I think it is a nightmare. I wouldn't I wouldn't want their job. I think it sounds crazy what you guys are doing. One thing you need to be on the road is obviously to release records. Silver Screen was a hit. Silver Screen 2 was a hit. But as you know, you kind of need a trilogy.
I mean, the best movies have a trilogy, don't they? They come out with a 3D version and the third one, I don't know how we could possibly put out a 3D record, but, I'm interested to find out what the idea is going to be for this third record, which is, I think that possibly before doing a third iteration of the Silver Scream, there might be a little break in there as far as, just putting some new ideas into the world, maybe a shorter collection of songs that kind of tie into the movie themes or tie into a different theme, but isn't exactly like Silver Scream 1 and 2. And then once we get to finalizing that list of movies that we want to do for the third record, I think that people will be pretty excited about the movies that make it onto that one.
Being on tour, does it make it more difficult for you guys to find the time to work on new material?
Yeah, it definitely does. That's something that Joe and Spencer spend a lot of time doing, is like sharing voice notes on their phones back and forth and kind of starting to flesh out song ideas. But being on the road is definitely hard. Ricky, Spencer, Joe, they all have their studio spaces back home that they get the best and the most work done. And being on the road, it's hard to bring a studio on the road with you. It's hard to put out quality songwriting while on the road, because you're so focused on the show. You're so focused on the whole day. It's hard to swap your mindset to be show ready into the like creative way to let's write a song in this room. You know, it's definitely challenging, but you got to find ways to do it because most of our time is spent on the road. So definitely finding ways to get some of these ideas started before we really dive into it next year.
One last question for you. This has been bugging me for a very long time. When are you guys going to kill off that big dude that's the psychiatrist guy? Every time...
He's dead.
Is he dead now?
Yeah, he's dead.
I missed it?
Oh, yeah. That's a whole part of
when did this happen? Dude, when did this happen?
It happens at the end of the it is the end video that the whole movie section of that is the psychiatrist getting killed.
I think I skipped the credits or something.
You must have missed the after credit scene. And this is something we just did a book signing in New York at a Barnes & Noble in New York about the Silver Screen book that's coming out, written by Roy Merkin, who is the reporter from the Thank God It's Friday music video. And that goes in depth into the allegations, of course, of Spencer committing all of these murders, including the murder of Dr. Ian Black.
Dude, you don't know how much I hate that guy. I've been wanting this guy to be dead since the first video, and now you're telling me that my moment of glory, I missed my moment of glory here.
Honestly, I'm very glad that I could give you the good news.
Now I know what I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch all the Silver Scream in a row tonight after the show.
God damn it! I've been like dying to see this guy die, and I missed the boat on this one.
Oh, that's so funny.
Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you. All the best with the rest of the tour.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.
All right, take care, man.
You too.